Hey everybody, all right, so let's go over ES and crude, and I'll show you how these turns occurred and what predicted the behavior, etc. So you just have to kind of understand, that how the buying is expressed, so you can detect heavy buying at key points, key lows and highs. Anyway, so this whole thing, you could see this coming from a mile away. All right, so let me just show you the market rallied here, okay? Then it pulled back, and this was a low. This red bar was a low, so it just tagged that low, and it goes slightly below it, and it comes back up. So it's in spring position. As you know, that's what spring position is when you have a breakdown that doesn't have follow through. It's really that simple. I know there's a lot of complicated definitions of spring A, spring 2A, spring 1A, or whatever. That's really pointless. All right. The way you want to understand springs is there is a breakdown without follow through, and when that happens, it is immediately in a spring position. And then see if there's heavy buying. Because if there is heavy buying when on an attempted breakdown, it means the breakdown failed. And that's a spring. So that's how you want to understand spring practically. There are a lot of minutia around. I've seen stuff about this classifying spring, this and that, but this is not practical, and it's not the way a real trader thinks or trades. So just letting you know, and I'll show you what I mean by basic spring. Okay, so this is the low here on this red bar. This makes a low. It gets, then there's a high, and of course it was up thrusted. And I'll show you the high here. So you can see the high and the low. The high of this bar is 2850. So you just go to 2850. And what happened? What happened was that when the market went above 2850, which is right here in this area, there's a big selling wave. A big selling wave. So what that tells you is the breakout failed. And that's your upthrust. It's an attempt to break out that fails with heavy selling, meaning it goes into breakout position, and instead of finding buyers, it finds sellers. So what is the evidence that the breakout failed? This is measured. I can show you how I measure it, but this, you can do it with price or volume. You can do it with this wave. For example, it's in the breakout position right here, right? So on the daily, you had this bar, it was 4828. So it goes into that area, and you're thinking, okay, if it's going to break out, it's going to be big price volume thrust. But instead, you get the price volume thrust taking you back within the range with the biggest selling wave in 11 waves. What else do you want to know? That's your upthrust. Upthrust is a breakout failure, and a spring is a breakdown failure. If you get that through your head, you will then start seeing the market as attempts and failures, and then you can take that side that's winning. So this was the failure here. Why is it failure? I mean, again, this goes into upthrust breakout, attempt to break out, and it's met with heavy selling, so done. How much selling? Biggest selling in 11 waves. I don't know what happened to my mouse. All right, just give it a second. I don't know why it's freezing. I don't know what I have open, but okay, there it is. All right, so here you have the biggest selling in 11 waves. So you can measure the pressure that came in through price or volume. I know a lot of folks think, oh, change of character, change of behavior requires Weiss wave volume, but it can also be done with price distance. And actually, that's how Wyckoff did it. He did it based on distance and time. But, I mean, you just do it off of distance right here. Biggest wave in 11 waves. Attempted breakout failed. Wide selling wave was biggest wave in 11 waves. Done. Done, done, done. Okay, so the buyers, instead of finding buyers, they found sellers. Okay, now that's it. We're going down. Going down to what? Typically, it's the same support levels. It's always those levels. As it goes to the support level, I am very, very interested because I know the trend is up. So if you can find that pressure is gonna, it's gonna talk volumes. As it takes out this low, which is 48.2850, look what it finds. Biggest bar in 100 bars, followed by another biggest bar in another 100 bars. Buying pressure found. So instead of breaking down, you have buying, which means it is a breakdown failure. Breakdown failure is met with heavy buying. Done deal. All right, so this is the buying. Basically, the buyers stepped in and said, you're going to try to break down, we're going to buy everything you want to sell. And that's what they did. And this is the evidence. This is not, I'm not making shit up here. This is the biggest in 100 bars, another bigger than the next 100 bars. And the biggest wave, which is calculated, I'm not interpreting anything here. No interpretation. This is the biggest wave in 25 waves. Biggest up wave in 25 waves, right there. Right here. Look. What's that telling you? Trend on. That's what it's telling you. So now, just like the selling caused the downtrend, the buying is going to cause an uptrend. And all of this is because of all of that. So now you just keep on going back up. Right? There you go. And this is Wyckoff method. This is the Wyckoff method. If you want, you can go check Division 2 of Wyckoff's course. And basically he has a study there, and then he says where to find trades, and he basically says support, resistance, and it's paraphrases, where to find trades. It's just at levels, and this is exactly what I'm doing here. All right, because highs and lows is what matters. Why people, when smart money talks, they talk about prices. They don't talk about, oh, it's a stochastic oversold or is the RSI overbought. They talk about price levels that they're interested in by taking a look at prior highs and lows. When they have an idea of what those highs and lows are, they're like, okay, now they have a reference point. Okay, that's a low, that's a high. When it comes around that area where we want to sell or we want to buy, it's based on levels. That's why levels are more important than any of these indicators. Right, so you want to see what's going on at the levels, and those levels are, lows and highs are, support and resistance. Anyway, now this shit goes, right? So what are we looking for here? I mean, I'm just looking for a pullback, and we can trade those pullbacks. Now, do we have those? Not really. You don't have any retests here that are clear opportunities. I think you're going to get something like over here. Why? Because you have 1 high, 2 high, 3 high. Anytime you have a series of 3 higher highs, they're in jeopardy, right? From experience. Anytime you have higher low, higher low, higher low in a sequence, it becomes very, very, not easy, but a good target. Because you know where the stops are, right here. Stops could be here, so they're right here, right? They're right there. So why are you gonna hunt them? Because if this market has to go higher, the easiest way to reaccumulate is to take out those lows and take out the one side that's selling and pair that with the buy orders, so you can reaccumulate quick, and then throw it back up. So that's about it. This is the ES, and I think I'm going to stop here. All right, take care. Bye.